This episode of Raw was really all over the place. There was a lot of good, there was a lot of bad, and some very, very bad, in my opinion, deflating moments. They took all of the air out of this episode of Raw. But I'm going to say we open up with a high with our women's Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch, coming out basically saying that everything is a hoax. She never lost to Maxine Dupri, but she did, win against her. I don't know how you could, not lose your Intercontinental Championship and regain it, but okay, okay, Becky Lynch. And then she is interrupted by AJ Lee. AJ Lee says she doesn't want to fight Becky Lynch unless it's for, something, which is basically what Gunther had just done to AJ Styles. So it's basically made official right here, right on the start of Monday Night Raw, that it will be Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber. I don't know how I necessarily feel about AJ Lee being the Intercontinental Champion, but it would add some prestige that not like it needs anymore because of how Becky Lynch has carried the title thus far. But, it's always good to have a mid card title, have former world champions hold it so that way we can kind of get a sense that the world titles aren't the only things that these wrestlers want, if that makes any sense. Our first match of the night is for the World Tag Team Championships, the champions, the Usos, versus Alpha Academy. This match was predictable. They had a few cool spots. One was messed up. Otis goes for his patented worm, and then Jay went to go kick him with a super kick in the middle of it. He kind of got it, kind of did it, but we're just gonna pretend like he got it. Otis threw Tozawa. Like Tozawa was going on a little rampage against the Usos, and he was gonna dive out and hit both of them, but Otis stopped him, picked him up, and then threw him. That was fun. The Usos retained the championships, and afterwards, they're paying their respects to Otis and Tozawa, saying, "Hey, that was a good match. You guys didn't get it done, but fantastic match. You gave it all you had." And then Jimmy turns to Jay and is like, "Hey, bro, in your qualifying match, I need you to win so you can go back and become main event Jey Uso and go win the WWE Championship now." Beat Drew McIntyre, and it's just like I'm gonna sound a little hypocritical here because I was all about Julia becoming a triple champion. Women's United States champion, women's tag team champion, and then one of the women's world titles. It just seems kind of weird here because they're the tag team champions. Like if Jay was just a singles champ, say he was the Intercontinental champion, and his bro's like, "Dude, you could hold the Intercontinental and the world title." Like, bro, that's cool. But to me, it would just seem like you would want your tag team partner to focus on the tag team and not have other things messing with the tag team. Because if he's world champion and he's having to go against world championship caliber wrestlers, you think he's going to be all right when it's time to defend the tag team titles? I don't think so, Jimmy. Next on the card, we get Lyra, Rhea, and Ivy Nile in their qualifying match for the Women's Elimination Chamber. Really, the only thing I remember from this match is there's a point where Rhea Ripley is on the top rope, Ivy Nile is kind of hung down off the ropes, and Lyra Valkyria hits Ivy Nile with like the sickest drop kick I've ever seen. It was insane. But otherwise, this was like a really sloppy match. It looked like Lyra was going to win for a little bit, but once again, WWE went with the predictable thing, and Rhea Ripley has qualified for the Elimination Chamber. Who would have guessed? And I'm not trying to say that like I'm mad or anything. It just sometimes it's nice to have someone new. Like, remember when we had like Montez Ford in the Elimination Chamber? He was like the star of that Elimination Chamber. That was really cool. That was really cool. Ivy Nile could have been that. Lyra Valkyria could have been that. But we're gonna get Rhea Ripley. We get some of the same old stuff with Judgment Day. They're like, we're still family, but I'm still mad because I didn't get this thing. Liv's mad because she's just Liv Morgan. She's just mad. There's no Roxanne Perez for some reason. JD's still out. Raquel didn't win the world title. Dom's mad because he's just the butt of every joke. And Finn Balor is quote unquote finally fed up and he wants CM Punk and that World Heavyweight Championship. I like what they're doing with Finn, but this same old Judgment Day stuff, it's just kind of like, okay, we get it. If you're going to break him up, just do it already. Just rip the band-aid off. Let's just get this over with. Let them all go their separate ways and do their thing. And then once we come back, we have Michael Cole is supposed to interview CM Punk in the middle of the ring, but Finn Balor decides to come out and say, you know what, Punk? You beat me in my homeland, fair and square, fine. But you know what? Elimination Chamber is in your hometown, Chicago, and I will beat you there and become world heavyweight champion and take away your WrestleMania main event. I love this from Finn. I think it's fantastic that what we're doing with him right now. But then we have Adam Pearce come out and he's basically like, yeah, you had your chance at the World Heavyweight Championship. You didn't get it. It's time to move on, Finn. And he's like, oh yeah, time to move on, like how you had me move on from the Royal Rumble. This is ridiculous, Adam Pearce. And it wouldn't be until CM Punk comes out trying to attack Finn Balor. Finn Balor runs out, stands on the announcer table, and they're standing just across from each other. Adam Pearce is on the floor, just yelling between them. CM Punk is looking at Adam Pearce saying, like, look, I'm the champ. I should have a say at who I fight, right? I want Finn. I want to kick his butt. Eventually, Adam Pearce gives in after CM Punk gives this grandiose speech about wanting to fight Finn right now. And so I'm sitting here thinking, like, oh, our main event is going to be CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship again. And the whole crowd is going insane because CM Punk explicitly says we should give the Cleveland what they want, right? And they do and they don't at the same time. It was like the most deflating part of the night. And that's because instead of doing it tonight, they're like at the Elimination Chamber, and everyone just went boo. Well, because of course they want to see the match tonight. They don't want to wait for Elimination Chamber. Like, what is that? Even though that moment was extremely deflating for the entire show, I like what they're doing with Punk and Finn. I like it. I'm a fan of it. Keep it going. Right after this, the Vision meet up with Adam Pearce. You know, it's Paul Heyman, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and Bronson Reed. Paul Heyman comes out and says that Braun Breaker needs to have surgery because he has a hernia and he has to get major surgery done. So he's going to be out from 4 to 6 weeks. And the Vision really don't have anything to do right now. Adam Pearce says, "Hey, Paul, Austin Theory's got his qualifying match tonight, and none of you guys better show up." Paul's like, "Are you just asking us not to, or what?" And Adam Pearce is like, "No, that's a threat." And I'm very confused now because one week Adam Pearce is a little pansy when it comes to the Vision, and now he's trying to threaten them. I just don't get it. I wish it made so much more sense. And then at the end of it all, Logan Paul basically goes up to Adam Pearce and is like, you know, I'm the biggest thing to come out of Cleveland. And it's a shame that I'm not even in a match. I'm not on the show. I'm just standing around here. Adam Pearce gets off on his face. They kind of bicker a little bit. Bronson Reed says, hey, this isn't your thing. I'll take care of him. So I guess Bronson Reed and Adam Pearce got beef now. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this whole Adam Pearce Vision thing. I want to like it. I really do, but they just didn't pull the trigger at the right time. If they pulled it like a month ago, whenever it was when Braun Breaker went crazy, I'd be all for this, but I'm not scared of the Vision. They don't scare me. Why should I care if they're I just don't care. Our next match of the night is Natty, not Natalya, Natty versus Maxine Dupri. This is a very quick match because it goes basically straight to the outside. They start fighting out there. They get counted out. Natty puts Maxine in a sharpshooter on top of the announcer's table. Maxine Dupri gets saved by AJ Lee, and then as Natty runs away all mad and everything, and Maxine is being helped by AJ and I think one of the refs by holding her up and everything. As they're making their way around the ring, Becky Lynch comes out of the ring, grabs AJ Lee, and throws her into the ring post, you know, furthering their feud. So I'm assuming next week on Raw, it will be Becky Lynch and Natty versus Maxine Dupri and AJ Lee. I guarantee it. I like what they're doing with Natty. I wish they'd push it a little further. Maybe we get a hardcore match out of Natty and Maxine Dupri. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if they'd be up for it, but that'd be kind of cool. I like what they're doing with Maxine Dupri. I like what they're doing with Becky Lynch. And I'm not too sure about AJ Lee yet because she kind of just comes and goes. So maybe after this Becky feud, I'll have more of a good or a real opinion about AJ Lee because right now I'm just kind of like, she's back. Cool. I don't have, I mean, I'm not, it's not like the vision I'm like, I wish it was more. Here I'm just kind of like, I'm still waiting to see what happens. Next on the card, we have the Bravo brothers. Those are the lackeys of El Grande Americano versus Javon Evans and a mystery opponent. And that mystery opponent being El Grande Americano. I love it. I love it. I think this is one of the greatest characters WWE has done in years. I love it. And I know everyone's been saying it on the internet. Corey Graves even said it tonight, but you have OG Americano who is cheered in the States and then booed down in AAA. And then you have the new Americano who is booed in the States yet treated like a rock star in AAA. I think it's just so cool the dichotomy between the two. I also found it kind of funny. I don't know if they did this intentionally, but they're calling uh the short El Grande Americano, the original uh, Americano, and then you have Javon Evans, who's the young OG. So I thought it was kind of funny that they put the two OGs together. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but I like it. I like it. I see what you're doing, WWE. This was by far the best match of the night. The action was pretty much nonstop. Uh, Javon Evans hits this crazy. I don't remember which one it is. If it's and I can't even remember their names. I'm sorry, Bravo Brothers, but it was either I think it was the blue guy. Whichever one the blue guy is, he's the one who got hit with this. But he jumps off one turnbuckle. Javon Evans jumps off the other, and he hits it with an OG cutter in midair. Beautiful piece of work. Beautiful piece of it. It's like if Randy Orton was extremely athletic. That's what it looked like. And of course, the OGs, Javon Evans and El Grande Americano, win. And then, the big, tall, new Americano comes in, starts beating them up, and, just doing his heelish behavior. The new Americano tries to rip off the OG's mask. They do some scrambling, and then the OG tries to rip off the new Americano's mask, but the Bravo brothers are able to pull him out, and they skedaddle on to the back. I am loving this Americano storyline. I'm assuming it's going to end at WrestleMania. I hate to see it end, but I know it eventually has to. I just love it. It is so great. I think it's so amazing, honestly. And with the inclusion of Javon Evans, putting him on weekly TV and constantly giving him matches, fantastic. I love seeing Javon Evans. I love seeing all this craziness with the Americanos. Perfect. Gunther is given an interview in the back. He basically stops Byron Saxton and says, "Look, we're not going to go through this whole parade of you asking me all these questions. I'm going to win my qualifying match. I'm going to win the Elimination Chamber, and then I'm going to beat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship." This is how Gunther should be speaking because he even says, I beat Goldberg. I beat John Cena. I made AJ Styles go to sleep. He didn't even tap. He went to sleep. So, do I think Gunther's going to win the Elimination Chamber? He could, honestly, because Drew and him have, past history with their triple threat match at Mania, where it was Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus. So, honestly, here I can see him winning, and maybe beating Drew at Mania. For our main event, we have Penta versus LA Knight versus Austin Theory in their qualifying match for the men's Elimination Chamber match. I think this was a great match. It allowed Theory to really stand out here against the two faces. As being the only bad guy in the match, he was able to do a lot of heelish work without it seeming overbearing, like usually when you have two heels against one baby face. And one thing I'm really enjoying about these triple threat matches, it's allowing every single person a chance to stand out. LA Knight looked good. Austin Theory looked good. Penta looked amazing. Like they really are working with everyone's strengths in these matches. Like even with the women's match earlier on in the night, they were still working with everyone's strengths. It just didn't all come together exactly how they wanted. I know what they were going for. I see the vision, but it just didn't pan out. Here though, boy did it pan out. Because Paul Heyman's to the side, the Vision are not allowed at ringside, but of course, Bronson Reed and Logan Paul make their way down to the ring to screw over things. There's a point where LA Knight is pulled out. I believe he's pulled out of the ring by Logan Paul and Bronson Reed because he's able to get a few punches in on him, but he's pulled out. I think he gets Logan, and as he's getting Logan, Bronson Reed absolutely trucks him. I mean, he just goes full and boom, and then he's down, throws him in there, hits him with a tsunami, and then Austin Theory goes for the pin. One, two, kick out. Dude, I was for sure Austin Theory was going to the Elimination Chamber. Actually, I just forgot because it was Penta that I believe saved the day because LA Knight couldn't kicked out. And then Penta gets all messed up. I think he gets thrown over the announce table. Yeah, because then somehow Austin Theory gets sent to the outside as well, where another masked man shows up and kicks him and then hits him and then throws him in the ring. And then that allows LA Knight to win. All right. Like I said, if they had done more with Braun Breaker and just pulled the trigger on him, this whole Vision thing would be so awesome. It would turn them into a monster heel faction against the babyface LA Knight. I get it. Punk's a good champion right now, and I like what they're doing with Finn, but I feel like they could have done so much more with Braun Breaker and LA Knight right here, especially heading into Mania season. Heading into Elimination Chamber, though, we have Tiffany and Rhea on the women's side so far, and then Randy and LA Knight on the men's side. So far, shaping up to be decent Elimination Chambers. I can't see Randy Orton and LA Knight having a good singles match. So I don't know how I feel about them being the only ones in so far. I know we're going to get more people in with more diverse moveset and everything, but as of right now, I'm not looking too forward to the men's. I'm just being honest. The women's, on the other hand, Tiffany is athletic. Rhea's a powerhouse, so it's more of a difference in style there, at least. Anyway, speaking about tonight, this Raw was, like I said, all over the place. Some good, some bad. That really, in my opinion, bad deflating moment. And then the Usos not really caring that they're the World Tag Team Champions because oh, we got to get the World Heavyweight Championship. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a hater on that, but I'm just being honest with my opinion. I'm gonna give this Raw a feeling a 2 out of 5. Yeah, well, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen in the world. Wasn't the greatest. A 2. There was some good, some bad. Anyways, that is my review of the February 9th, 2026 edition of Monday Night Raw. Let me know down in the comments below. What did you like? What did you dislike? Was that moment as deflating to you as it was to me? Let me know in those comments while you're down there. If you're watching this long, you might as well like the video if you enjoyed it. And you might as well hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed and hit the notification bell so you know every single time that this channel uploads. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.